Good evening and welcome to News Watch, this 22nd day of October 2021. Thank you so much for joining us for the latest news making headlines in the country. I'm Tonny Omondi and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's begin. As the country continues to get back to normalcy following the lifting of some COVID-19 restrictions, including the nationwide dusk to dawn curfew, Kenyans have continued to express their joy, with those in business expecting greater returns in the coming days. President Uhuru Kenyatta on Wednesday this week on Mashujaa Day lifted the over 16-month dusk to dawn curfew, breathing a sigh of relief to businesses that were dying and livelihoods that were on the verge of collapse. In Kisumu County, local residents have expressed immense joy, though the government has warned that the lifting of the curfew does not mean the easing of other vital COVID-19 protocols. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
Tumeshukuru rais wetu kwa kutoa curfew cause sisi ni watu wa biashara. Tulikuwa tunauza samaki na kulewa lunch na supper. So when curfew tulikuwa tunauzia tu watu wa lunch peke yake. Or which sales ya night hours hatukuwa tunapata. Sasa now vile wametoa curfew, we are okay. Tuna sell samaki ya lunch time, supper and take away ya supper. Imetusaidia sana. So tumemshukuru tu asirudishe curfew ili tuendelee tupate pesa, watoto waende shule, biashara yetu irudi kama kawaida as normal. Though saa hii bado iko chini kidogo juu watu wajaanza kutravel kukuja wengi, but tumejua watakuwa wanakuja kuchukua take away, wanachukua sapa na iko sawa.
Naona kama hii curfew imetusaidia cause tulikuwa tunaumia sana cause tunafanyanga usiku. Hii kazi ya mchana hatufanyangi. Mchana hatuna pesa, tunafanya tu usiku ndio tunaweza pata riziki.
We are so much grateful for President Uhuru for removing this particular curfew. Kwa sababu mwanzo amesaidia watu wengi. Kwa mfano, walikuwa wanauza mayai usiku. Kuna mtu ana shule mchana, ikifika usiku anachemsha mayai yake aenda pika. Arudi kutufungia hata vile tungepata hakuna. Sasa hizi vile tunasema asante sana sisi kama watu transporters. Mabasi zinaleta watu usiku, tunaweza changamka mchana. Tunashukuru kabisa na azidi kuonea moyo.
Hii curfew vile imetolewa hii, mimi ni wa mama tatu. Sasa unajua mimi namaliza kazi kama saa moja hivi, saa hivi vile imetolewa hii, naweza anza kazi kuanzia hiyo mpaka mchana. Nashukuru rais.
Earlier on, our reporter Dolly Murege, who's in Kisumu County, looked at the current situation in Kisumu and got some views from local residents regarding the lifting of the curfew. Here's the earlier report.
Wakati curfew tulikuwa tunateseka sana. Sasa hii angalau tunaweza pata kitu tuende nayo kwa nyumba. Sasa nimeshukuru president wetu Uhuru Kenyatta venye alisema tunaweza fanya 24 hours. Tumeshukuru sana. Sasa hii ni kuzuri kiasi. Lakini chenye naweza omba wafanya biashara pia venye gavana wetu Anyanyola alibomoa vibanda, angalau angepatia watu mali wanaweza fanya kazi.
Nimefurahia rais wetu kutufungulia kwa sababu saa hii biashara ya usiku naona kama inaendelea vizuri sana. Saa hii tumepata nafasi. Sasa tulikuwa tunalia tu mali fulani. Mambo sisi kama watu ambao wametumeza mahali, ningependa tufukulie poa tuserekae mpaka asubuhi. Hiyo ndio mlango kwa rais.
Nimeshukuru Mungu, tunasema asante kwa yote tumefunguliwa. Corona hiyo curfew ya saa 2 ya saa 4 hiyo pia tunashukuru. Sasa tunaweza kufanya kazi vizuri. Sisi kama manamba tunapanga gari stage. At least fare ya mafuta at least pia tunaomba tupunguzie kidogo, at least makastoma wasiwezi kupata usaidizi poa wakitravel. Nasema tu asante kwa yote ametufungulia. Sina chache ya kusema.
Mimi jambo la kwanza nimerudishia president asante pamoja na Mwenyezi Mungu. Kutoka mwezi wa 3 2020 tumekuwa na shida ya ugonjwa ya corona. Na amehangaisha wa biashara, watu wa matatu, kila sekta amehangaika juu ya ugonjwa. Sasa kwa saa hii president ameona watu wamehangaika, amefungua nchi. Mimi naomba sisi tukae na amani, watu wa Nyanza, Kisumu, tukae na amani, tuvumilie vile tulivumilia wakati ya ugonjwa. watu walikuwa tembei na watu walikuwa wafanyi kazi. Sehemu ilikuwa mahali ilikuwa tunafanya kazi, sehemu mingi imeharibika, na hiyo yote tuliwachia Mungu. Kwa hivyo hata saa hii nchi imefunguliwa, tutakuwa na amani.
Mimi ni mkazi wa hapa Kisumu. Nimefurahia sana vile Oru wetu ametutolea hiyo curfew ya saa 4. Angalau saa hizi tunaweza fanya business hadi late hours. Tunaweza tafuta ya rent, hiyo yenye ilikuwa inatusumbua hapo nyuma. Kwa hiyo tu namshukuru tu sana, aendelee tu hivyo hivyo.
Meanwhile, restaurant operators have welcomed the move by the president to lift the curfew while announcing their efforts to abide by the COVID-19 protocols set by the Ministry of Health to curb the spread of the virus. The Operators Association, Bahlita, has pledged to help the government vaccinate more people by converting some of the establishments to become vaccination centers. The operators exuded confidence that the lifting of the curfew will revive the hard-hit sector, while lamenting a loss of more than 150 billion shillings.
We have suffered economically as the country has gone through different phases as we struggle to limit the spread of COVID-19 since March 2020. Following the lifting of the curfew and the clarification on the operating hours for business, we would like to issue the following brief reaction. First, we would like to thank President Uhuru Kenyatta for hearing the crisis of Kenyans and lifting the curfew on Mashujaa Day to give Kenyans a better opportunity to rebuild from the economic suffering they have undergone over the last 2 years. Allowing people to resume business is the first step towards attaining the economic prosperity that we all crave. We urge all hotels and restaurants operators to abide by the COVID-19 protocols and to constantly remind their patrons to adhere to the rules that sector can remain open. We don't witness a surge in infection. Our wish, which we can all help fulfill, is to have operations going back to normal and to we can all help fulfill is to have operations going back to normal and to never have again to shut down. We urge patrons to remember to keep safe even as they celebrate life. Jibambe, Jilinde, Jikinge. Third, we encourage the Ministry of Health to partner with bars and restaurants and consider using our establishments as vaccination centers from time to time.
We don't want a return to any sort of closure again in this country. We want a continuation of this. Let us not go back. Thirdly is vaccinations. Please, 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 if you are not vaccinated, go get yourself vaccinated. We have asked the government to come with us, partner with us.
Now, every year on 22nd October, the world observes International Stuttering Awareness Day to raise public awareness on stuttering, which affects over 1% of the world's population. The Stammering Society of Kenya have on Friday marked the International Stuttering Awareness Day to create more knowledge about the condition to reduce the stigma associated with it. As Kennedy Kimani now reports, the day was marked by planting of trees at Ngong Forest, with the planting of trees being symbolic in that the effort of planting trees is the same effort used by a stutterer to complete a sentence.
It is estimated that about 1% of the world population are stutters. Now, this is more than 70 million people in the world. The fact is, people who stutter are normal. They just have a difficulty in producing sounds and words fluently. False assumptions and negative stereotypes about stuttering still persist.
Being a stammerer, to me, is not big a challenge.
These myths, if left unchecked, can lead to prejudice and discrimination of stutterers from the public and can influence how stutterers view themselves. This is one of the reasons.
I am in a fact fighting a daily battle.
that made Dominic Kiplimo, who is a stutterer, begin championing for the rights of stutterers in Kenya by founding the Stammerer Society of Kenya, since he believes they are underrepresented and do not enjoy the benefits of persons living with disability.
We are feeling unfair and under-representation. The people who are living with disability in Kenya are 1%. That means around 1 million. Why can they be given their voting right to choose their own leader so that at to fail we will know sisi ni bongolala? Nomination is unfair, and you can see it's unfair.
Employment discrimination is a major concern for stutterers. Several studies indicate that people who stutter are disadvantaged in the employment context. Former KFCB CEO Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, who was the chief guest during the event, says that stutterers should be accorded more time during job interviews.
There is going to be special consideration that will enable these guys to be able to express themselves because they need more time. They don't need pity, they need more time. They need policy, they need empathy, they need support, and they need to be understood and given a fair chance, like everyone else, to express themselves.
While researchers prove stuttering is a neurological condition that interferes with speech, many mistake it to be nervousness or lack of confidence, which is all but a myth.
Persons who stammer are not recognized among people with disabilities. Continue to champion and encourage the National Council for the Persons with Disabilities to be able to also accommodate persons who stammer, so that they also get to enjoy the benefits and exemptions that other persons are having.
The Stammering Society of Kenya says a lot more has to be done with regard to the disorder, including creating awareness about the help available. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
Thank you, Kennedy Kimani, for that report. Moving on now, the County Assembly of Embu has implored the executive arm of the devolved unit to move with speed and resolve the health crisis occasioned by the ongoing health workers' strike. This even as the Assembly distanced itself from blame over poor funding of healthcare. That was one of the grievances cited by the striking workers. There have been more than 10 strikes in the last 3 years. Other issues cited by the workers that led to the industrial action include non-remittance of statutory deductions and loans from financial institutions, as well as partial payment of salaries. Assembly Health Committee Chair Tonny Omondi said they had done their part by appropriating enough funds to the health docket and was puzzling to see workers down their tools.
I want us to request His Excellency, the CEO of this country, Honorable Nyangwa, to move with speed and sort out this problem, because it's not an embarrassment for Embu alone, it's an embarrassment for the entire country, because our people are suffering.
We expect a detailed explanation as to the figures, how much is owed to these statutory bodies, and where exactly this money was spent and who approved, because we never approved any variation of votes, like money was meant to pay statutory deductions and then it went to pay or to meet other budgetary expenditures. This county assembly never appropriated.
Kenya on Thursday received an additional consignment of 504,000 doses of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine in yet another boost to the ongoing National Accelerated Vaccination Campaign. The consignment was acquired through the African Vaccine Acquisition Trust, AVAT. The Ministry of Health said the consignment will go a long way in supplementing what the country has. As of October 20th, a total of 4,733,770 vaccines had so far been administered across the country. And the United Democratic Alliance UDA party has faulted the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC for allegedly enacting laws which are not in the constitution in the ongoing voter registration exercise. Party Secretary General Veronica Maina regretted that the electoral body was demanding those who wanted to transfer their votes to present a letter from their local chief. This, she said, was barring voters from transferring from one station to a station of their choice. Maina noted that many of the voters had moved places due to the COVID-19 pandemic and therefore would not be able to go back to their areas where they registered just to seek a letter from their local chief. She was speaking in Olkalau town after officially opening UDA party county offices.
I declare this office officially open. Nyandarua County. Kuna kitu kimoja naona IEBC haifanyi sawa. Kama mpiga kura anataka kuhama kutoka eneo moja kwenda eneo ingine, nimeona wameweka requirements ambazo hata haziko katika sheria zetu, haziko kwa sheria hizo. Wamesema ati ulete barua ya chief. Sasa barua ya chief inaingilia wapi? IEBC is an independent commission. Unless if IEBC is not independent, you declare to us today that you are dependent on the administration system.
Tunajua kuna vijana, kuna wazee, hata kuna wale watu wanataka kubadilisha kura zikuje hapa Nyandarua. Tunawaomba sana mtokee, mujiajiri, mujiandikishe kuwa piga kura 2022. Kwa sababu ikiwa unataka kuweka ule mtu unataka kufanyie kazi 2022, lazima ufanye hiyo na kura yako.
Kulingana na ile data tumepewa na IEBC, iko chini sana. Ile target tumepewa na IEBC ni watu 113 na saa hii tuko chini sana, hata hatujafikisha watu 20. Kwa hivyo tumekubaliana kama all the aspirants tutafanya voter sensitization. Tuzunguke huku kutoka Kinangop, tuende constituency zote 5 mpaka Daragwa, tukiuliza vijana wetu wajiandikishe ndio waweze kupiga kura mwaka ujao.
Let's delve further into politics. Deputy President William Ruto has continued his hustler popularization tour in the western region of Kakamega County. Speaking in the vast region, the DP hit out at his political competitors, telling them to stop disturbing President Uhuru Kenyatta and allow him to serve Kenyans. He's asked his competitors to face him at the ballot and stop basking around the president. Alice Dana reports.
Deputy President William Ruto on Friday took his hustler campaigns to Kakamega County in a bid to woo the residents to support his presidential bid in the 2022 general elections.
Do business.
Speaking at various stopovers during his empowerment tour of the county, Ruto said it's not the responsibility of the president to unite individuals who have no agenda for the country.
So mnajua wale majamaa tunashindana na wao? Mtu ya kitendawili, mwingine ya katikati ya watermelon, na wengine wa serela kapo. Hawa wadosi wote mimi nataka niwaambie wawache kusumbua Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta sisi ndio tulimsaidia akakuwa rais. Saa hii wanamzunguka, sijui tupange. Wawache Uhuru Kenyatta, wanashindana na mimi, hawashindani na Uhuru Kenyatta. Wakuje, they must face me. Ama ni aje?
The deputy president said it was unfortunate that those in opposition have nothing to show in terms of development projects, despite serving in previous governments for many years. He reminded the opposition leaders that he will be their competitor and not President Kenyatta come 2022.
Hawa ambao tunashindana na wao, kuna chochote wanaweza kusema wamefanya hii Kakamega? Kuna chochote wanaweza kusema wamefanya hii Kakamega? Na si kila mtu amekuwa na nafasi ya uongozi. Si mwingine alikuwa prime minister, si mwingine alikuwa deputy prime minister, si mwingine alikuwa naibu wa rais, lakini hawana chochote wanaweza kuonyesha wamesaidia Kakamega hii. Sasa wewe umekuwa na nafasi ya uongozi miaka hii yote, huna hata alama kidogo ya kuonyesha uongozi yako. Wewe unakuja kuuliza rais, kwani rais ni urembo?
Ruto, who addressed wananchi in the areas of Haega, Misoli, Sabatia, Butere and Mumias Market, said unlike the opposition candidates, he has presented a credible action plan that has measurable objectives to create more job opportunities that can uplift their lives. MPs who accompanied the DP included Didimas Baraza of Kimilili, Benjamin Washali of Mumias East, Dan Wanyama of Webuye West, Aden Duale of Garissa Town, former CS Rashid Echesa and former Kakamega Senator Boni Khalwale.
Kwanza wacha tushughulikie hawa. At least wapate pesa wainue biashara yao. Ama ni aje my friends? Kwanza tusaidie wakulima. Wapate mbegu, wapate mbolea, tuondoe cartel, tuondoe mabroka. Kampuni kama ya Mumias, tuweke pesa kwanza ya kutosha. Ndio ifufuke, wakulima wainuke kabla hatujaenda kubadilisha katiba.
Mimi naambia mtu ya utendawili, ile pesa ambayo yeye alichukua na ile ambaye rafiki yake anaitwa Kidero alichukua, machozi ya mkulima wa Mumias ambaye amelia miaka hiyo yote, Mungu hata ruhusu yeye hata akuwe chairman ya Catholic.
Nataka tujue ni nani ambaye ndio atagombea kiti ya urais. Tunataka kujua chama chao ni gani, na tunataka kujua sera yao ni ipi. We want to tell them not to hang around President Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta is serving his last term. He is going home in another 9 months.
For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Alice Diana.
Mombasa ODM party chairman Mohammed Hamid Hamis has called on women and the youth in the region to register as voters in large numbers. Hamis said by registering in large numbers, the women will have a direct say in determining their future by electing leaders of their choice. His sentiments come as the IEBC undertakes a mass voter registration exercise targeting at least 6 million new voters countrywide. The county party chairman encouraged the women to go for elective positions other than the women representatives seat, saying ODM is still the strongest party in the coastal region.
Tulikuwa kwa hapa kuhamasisha namna kina mama wanaweza kutoa vijana kujisajili na IBC na party registration. Tumekuwa na mazungumzo mingi, na mojawapo ambalo ni jambo limechubuka zaidi ni kuhusu mambo ya nomination. Nimewahakikishia kina mama ya kuwa nomination process under my chairmanship will be free and fair, na nimewaomba wajitokeze kugombania viti wakati ni wao, na nashukuru sana kwa support yao, na nimewahakikishia ya kuwa wao ni mimi na mimi ni wao. Candidate tulionaye mpaka sasa ni mmoja peke yake ambaye ni presidential, na kila mtu anamjua ni Raila Amolo Odinga. Kwa hivyo hatuna any preferred candidate for any position. Kila mtu anayetaka gombania kiti kuanzia ugavana, mbunge, senator, women rep, county rep, hizi nafasi hakuna mtu yoyote aliyowekewa nafasi hizi. Hizi nafasi ni za umma, na kila mtu tunamkaribisha aje ofisini kwetu Ganjoni kwa kutaka kujua maelezo zaidi na utaratibu wa yeye kutaka kusimama. Ofisi iko wazi Ganjoni ya ODM. Kwa hivyo hatuna any preferred candidate, na mtu asio na wasiwasi wa jambo lolote.
Right, with that, let's now take a short break on News Watch. Be back with more stories of the day. Do stay with Hope TV.
Join us every Sunday for unlimited, uplifting, powerful worship, only on Extended Worship.
Dad! Gari mpya!
Umetoa wapi gari mpya?
Optiven wametusort.
Optiven?
Nunua any of our value-added properties ama redeem installment ya property yako. Kwa kila malipo ya 10,000 unapata 1 entry point kwenye draw ya Furahia na Optiven promotion. Airtime kushindaniwa kila siku, holiday kila wiki, shinda ploti na gari kila mwezi na grand prize ya Mercedes-Benz C180. Ni rahisi, buy ama redeem na ushinde na Furahia na Optiven.
Welcome back to Newswatch. ODM party leader Raila Odinga has condemned negative ethnicity, saying it has continued to adversely compromise qualified Kenyans' access to equal job opportunities in the public sector. Raila singled out youths who could not be employed because of the communities they hailed from. He vowed to unite the country and ensure equal considerations were applied in employment, irrespective of ethnic affiliation. At the same time, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i hailed Odinga over his handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta in a move that looks like endorsing his 2022 candidature for presidency.
I want to say this publicly, toward the record. Mimi, tangu the handshake, me have sat down with Mzee here. I'm confirming it to you. I have sat down with Mzee. We have discussed with Mzee all along. Saile walishikana mkono namna hii. My commitment was, mimi, I cannot go where Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are not. The majority of our people are where the president and Raila is. Chile mmekubaliana na mimi that mimi nikae mahali president yako na baba.
This is what I want to do. And we are going to work together with Fred. Another son of a Bagusi who have worked together for a long time is James Mariba Ongwae here. And those are 22 Gusis. Drop our water in the ocean, and we will work with both of them. And we will work with both of them.
In other news, the government has released 2.4 billion shillings to be used to purchase food supplies to 23 counties that have been hit by drought. According to the government spokesperson, Cyrus Oguna, the allocation is aimed at covering the months of October and November and has been boosted by a further 1.5 billion shillings following President Kenyatta's directive during Mashujaa Day Fit. And as Dickens Livanda reports, Turkana Governor Josephat Nanok has announced relief support for residents affected by the ongoing drought in the county.
At least 23 counties are suffering from acute drought resulting from insufficient rains, with 13 counties of Baringo, Garissa, Isiolo, Kilifi, Kwale, Lamu, Kitui, Mandera, Marsabit, Samburu, Tana River, Turkana and Wajir counties being the hardest hit. In Turkana County, Governor Josephat Nanok, while addressing the press at the county headquarters, reassured local residents that the county government was monitoring the drought situation and was working to stave off widespread famine.
We began an intervention targeting about 640,000 persons with a combined total commodity amount of 2,500 metric tons. This intervention has been going on very well. It is began with Turkana North, went down to Kalokol.
Turkana County is at an alarming phase of drought, with about 50% of the population experiencing varied levels of food stress and in need of support, while the nutrition situation of children was generally moderate.
It is our prayers and it is my wish as the governor of this county that we will not see a famine during my time as your governor.
According to the government spokesperson Cyrus Oguna, the government has availed 2.4 billion shillings to get food supplies to the 23 counties hard hit by the drought. The allocation, which is aimed at covering the months of October and November, has also been boosted by a further 1.5 billion shillings that was announced by President Uhuru Kenyatta during this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations.
We as NDMA
have been doing our part, where we've been producing monthly bulletins to advise the government on the situation on the ground. We are the ones who have actually given the advice to the national government, from which His Excellency the President has given the direction that drought is declared a national disaster.
Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV News.
Western Region ODM party leaders have called on party leader Raila Odinga to nominate the deputy party leader Wycliffe Oparanya as his running mate for the 2022 general election. The leaders were speaking after a meeting in Kakamega County that brought together ODM party leaders across Kakamega, Vihiga, Busia, Bungoma and Trans Nzoia counties. The leaders affirmed their support for Raila Odinga's presidential bid, asking other Luhya party leaders to allow Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli to be the coordinator in uniting the Luhya community.
That we fully support the resolutions passed in the meeting by the Western Region leaders on 10th October 2021 and the appointment of Dr. Francis Atwoli as the Western Region Community Coordinator in negotiating the stake in the next government. 2, that ODM regional leaders affirm their loyalty to His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga and will push for his candidature as a presidential candidate and have worked out a strategic plan to ensure that he wins the majority votes in the region in the next election.
Mkiangalia hapa kwote ni kura. Na hii kura ni ya Raila Amolo Odinga. Tukiongozwa na ODM. Sasa wamama, wababa, vijana, wasichana na kila kitu. Kura yetu yote ni kwa tepe ya Raila Amolo Odinga. Azimio la moja. Wewe ambaye unakuja hapa, ukikuja kutanganya wengine tuko na kura. Kura ni ya Amolo Raila wetu.
Kwamba haya ndio mambo ambayo tumepitisha hapa kama region ya Western. Tuna hii region inaenda mpaka kule Trans Nzoia, mpaka kule Bunyore, huko Vihiga, inaenda Busia, Kakamega, mpaka kule kwote mpaka Mount Elgon, Bungoma na kila mahali. Kwa hivyo tumeamua kwa njia hiyo na tunaenda njia hiyo. Na sisi tunasema kwa wakati huu umefika na tunasema ni azimio letu kwamba kwa wakati huu lazima Raila Amolo Odinga tutamweka kwa State House ili aweze kuendeleza nchi yetu. Na sisi hatuchezi. Tukisema siasa tunasema ni siasa, mambo ya mchezo hakuna.
Migori County Interfaith Network has raised concern over heightened political temperatures ahead of 2022 general election. Under the Peace Net Kenya, the clergy said it's sad that there is tension politically as politicians engage in war of words ahead of the election. Charles Otigo said most politicians have started campaigning and ignored development work despite a full financial year ahead of them.
We want to appeal to all of us for peace because we are in the political market, because the election is just in the year 2022. It's just about, and everybody is selling the party and the manifesto. And everybody is entitled to their manifesto. So please, we appeal to the youth in this country and all the people, the fraternity of business and all classes of people, that please let's allow people chance to come and market what they have in terms of leadership or election 2022. Let's hear what they have. Let's not have any chaos with them. Just like them also giving us chance elsewhere, because Kenya is a wide range country.
Kitu tulikuwa tukijadili ni kuhusu uchaguzi ambayo imekaribia. Tunaomba vijana wetu wawe watu ambayo watakuwa wanyenyekevu, wasitumiwe vibaya kwa ajili ya uchaguzi. Kwa maana ni miaka mingi tumeona vijana wetu kama uchaguzi imefika wanatumiwa vibaya, wengine wanapoteza maisha, wake wamebaki mayatima na watoto. Lakini leo tumeomba uchaguzi ambaye nayofika hii kama waumini ama kama wasimamizi wenye wa wachungaji iwe ambaye itakuwa ya amani na upendo. Zaidi tunawaambia wanasiasa ambaye sasa wana kampeni, muje polepole, kwa maana mkija na fujo na kufurugana
ndio mnaletea vijana wanakuwa na motisha.
I would request all of us to check on politicians and the key things for us to be right. May we have and know their intelligence, their energy, their integrity, and can we see God in them?
3 men appeared before Malindi court on Thursday to answer to a charge of murdering a local businessman, Mohammed Nasir Juma, a year ago. Henry Wanje Karani, Nelson Wanje Mugaya, and Amos Kiponda Charo, who appeared before the court, however, denied murdering Mohammed Nasir on August 12, 2020. The incident allegedly took place in Kolonje village of Jilore location, Malindi sub-county. Malindi resident judge Stephen Kidinji first read out the charge against Henry Wanje Karani, to which the accused person pleaded not guilty. The prosecution, led by Joseph Kamau Mwangi, asked the court to grant them 1 week to apply for the consolidation of the case files, as well as file an affidavit to oppose bond terms. The prosecution also sought time to ensure witness protection. Justice Githinji granted the ODPP's prayers and set the mention of the case for October 28, 2021. The accused persons will meanwhile continue to be detained at the Malindi police station. And convicts in different prisons in Kericho County have gotten the opportunity to register as voters in the next general election. This was after the IEBC officers in the region visited the correctional facilities to conduct the exercise. However, a huge number of convicts were not registered as they had not brought their IDs with them into the prisons. The officer in charge of the prison in Kericho has promised to liaise with Social Welfare Department to have the IDs brought before November 2nd, when the voter registration exercise is set to be concluded. A total of 8 voters were registered in 3 different prisons in Kericho, with IEBC officials targeting to register 80 more voters once their IDs are brought.
This is my first time voting here within the prison facility. I voted back while I was at home. That was in 07 and 013. For us here, we are happy to vote so that we'll select our leaders, and we'll get to select those who will represent us, and we are so happy for that. Okay, the message to my fellow Kenyans out there, I'm requesting anyone who has not registered as a voter to register so that they will choose their leaders wisely. And what I'm just telling them again is to vote wisely and to maintain peace always.
And today we are privileged to have IEBC officials coming to register the inmates in Kericho main prison. And the number of inmates who have been registered today are 6. And remember, the inmates went to court. Previously they were not voting, but when they went to court, they were allowed to vote. They are voting in the presidential elections only. Yeah, most of them, they have ID cards, but some of them left their IDs at home. But we are making arrangements through our social welfare officers so that we can send for the IDs and then they can register as voters because it's their right.
Today morning we were at prisons annex and prison women. We were able to register 3 prisoners. And now we moved to the main prison. We have registered 5 prisoners. The challenges we are having here is most prisoners do not have their IDs. And we have requested the authorities here to liaise with the families so that their IDs can come before the end of this exercise on November 2nd.
The county government of Narok has resolved to involve locals living around the Masai Mara Game Reserve in the formation of the new Masai Mara Management Plan. Narok Governor Samuel Tinai said the game reserve is a great resource in the globe, and for it to be successful, the community living around the park should be fully involved in its management. Tonny spoke on Thursday in Narok at a Narok hotel after holding a day-long consultation meeting with over 200 people who live near the game reserve and a section of Narok MCAs. He said the county government has been giving 19% to the local community who have leased their land for hosting wild animals.
Tumekuja kusudi kuzungumza na governor yale mambo ambayo tumekuwa tukiteta kuhusu, na tumepata wakati mzuri tukiwa jamii wa Masai na tukiwa wakazi wa Masai Mara. Tumesema kwamba yale maneno ambayo tulikuwa inatukera huko, governor amesikiliza yote. Maneno mengi hakuyajua, zingine alizijua, na lakini yeye ndio governor na ametatua hayo maneno yote. Kwa hivyo nataka tu kuambia watu wote kwamba sisi tunarudi, tutakuwa na mkutano kubwa sana ya community kesho kusema kwamba yale mambo yote tumekuwa tukizungumzia yameisha na yameisha vizuri, and we are very 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 happy.
Community ambaye inaishi next to the Masai Game Reserve ni muhimu sana wahusishwe katika management ya Game Reserve. They are very very important stakeholders. So many studies have been done na it has been confirmed ya kwamba katika kuhakikisha ya kwamba Masai Mara Game Reserve, in fact ukisema ya kwamba the Serengeti Mara ecosystem iwe sustainable for future generations ama for posterity, the communities are very very important segment of that society. Kwa hivyo kwa sisi county government na hata national government tunajua ya kwamba lazima community tuwahusishe katika management aspect ya the Masai Mara Game Reserve.
Right, News Watch takes another short break. We'll be back with business and sports news. Don't go too far.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
From country music, classical quartet harmonics,
now I'm a child,
homecoming series,
for he saved the worst among
tent revival, many more.
I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside.
Watch these great musical adventures on the Bill Gaither Show, featuring Gaither Vocal Band, Linda Randall,
For the God on the mountain,
and many other series like the Alaskan Cruise. These gospel favorites, recorded in front of beautiful sceneries, guaranteed to rejuvenate your love for gospel music. Bill Gaither Show, only on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back to Newswatch. The Kenya Tea Development Agency Holdings Limited, KTDA, has welcomed President Uhuru Kenyatta's directive for the allocation of 1 billion shillings by the National Treasury towards fertilizer subsidy for farmers. In his Mashujaa Day speech on October 20th, President Kenyatta directed the National Treasury to allocate 1 billion shillings in support of fertilizer subsidy for tea farmers as part of his government's 13-point new stimulus program targeting key productive and service sectors of the economy. Commenting on the directive, KTDA Chairman David Ichoho said the move is a significant step towards lowering the cost of tea farming's primary input, adding that its impact will enhance farmers' socio-economic welfare. Tea prices for KTDA managed factories hit an average of $3.07 in the auction held on October 12, 2021, as the market continues to positively respond to the reserve price amidst a production dip. And M-Pesa Foundation has partnered with CBM Kenya and Cure Kenya Hospital to address factors that limit children with disabilities from access, retention and transition in schools. The 74 million shilling Wezesha Elimu project will see children with disabilities undergo surgeries, rehabilitation and eventually placed in learning institutions. Over 27 medical mobile clinics will be held across the country, targeting more than 700 children and 300 surgeries. M-Pesa Foundation and CBM Kenya have each invested 22.5 million shillings, while Cure Kenya will contribute 26.5 million shillings towards the project.
Committed to delivering connectivity, innovative products and services that will provide unmatched solutions to meet the needs of Kenyans by enabling them access through our technologies, our partners like you here, and just exploring more opportunities in health, education, and energy. So we are very, very aware that we want to advance the Sustainable Development Goals.
A very special way we can celebrate this milestone. The Wezesha Elimu project is a project we are very proud of as CBM Kenya. And together, the three partners have accomplished a lot. And we are committed to serving persons living with disability in the most disadvantaged areas of the world.
Grade A warehousing property developer Africa Logistics Properties has announced plans to attain net zero status within the next 9 years. The announcement was made by the company's development director, Maruza Chikwanha, while hosting a delegation from the Kenya Green Building Society for a tour around ALP North, the first industrial development in Africa to receive IFC Excellence in Design for Greater Efficiencies certification for initiatives that reduce ALP's warehouses resource usage by up to 40%. Maruza noted that the savings made on utilities are significant enough to offset the additional capital outlay required to develop sustainable industrial properties. According to the World Green Building Council, buildings are responsible for 38% of global energy-related carbon emissions.
We've been successful in achieving a savings of 41% with regards to our energy, 52% with regards to water consumption, and 50% with regards to the embodied energy in our building materials. Educating the market was one of the first challenges that we had, but we've been successful in taking them through that journey, and they're now seeing tangible benefits.
It's a positive outlook that more and more buildings are getting to be certified green. What it means if you don't do it right now, from an economic standpoint, we'd be losing out because the current trend right now is building green and sustainability. I believe it would be everyone's responsibility to be able to mitigate the effects of climate change within the years to come.
Pension scheme trustees in Kenya have been urged to diversify their investments in a bid to revitalize the sector that has been impacted negatively by the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during the ongoing Sanlam Investments East Africa Conference in Malindi, Capital Markets Authority Chief Executive Wycliffe Shamia urged the funds to retool their investment portfolio to maximize returns. The more than 100 pension fund trustees are in a two-day conference in Malindi to gauge the pandemic's impact on the market, re-strategize on how to shield the market from further negative impact of COVID-19, and share lessons learned in the adoption and rollout of new products in the market.
So we're gathered today
here over the next couple of days with a group of our clients, institutional investors from both Kenya and Uganda. And we're really looking to explore investment opportunities in the post-COVID environment throughout the region. Things have changed over the last couple of years, and in particular we're looking to see how we can diversify clients' funds into new investment areas.
The reason why I'm here today is just to stand with Sanlam Investment East Africa. As you realize, they are one of the largest management funds, doing a lot of work in capital markets, pension funds, and today, because they are meeting their clients, for me it was important that we stand with them, because that is how you get back market confidence, because as regulators, we want to encourage such initiatives as far as we can, because it is important. We need to get back our markets on the track. Kenyans just feeling they are safe investing in some of the products which we see in the sector around investments.
Into some sport now. South Sudan women national soccer team Bright Starlets have today continued to sharpen their craft in preparation for their 2022 AFCON qualifier return leg match against Harambee Starlets slated for tomorrow. The Bright Starlets will be hoping to turn over a huge 8-0 loss they suffered on Wednesday this week. Starlets are sitting comfortably in readiness to the next round, where they will face either Uganda or Ethiopia. They thrashed Bright Starlets 8-0 on Wednesday, with the Charles Okere Chargers going ahead through Nadia Atieno, who scored 4 goals in the game that the Starlets fully dominated. Right, with that sport, we've come to the end of Newswatch tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tonny Omondi, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Murithi. Have a blessed weekend.